Can you please leave?
Leave?
Because I can talk myself.
Fuck you.
Okay. Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Okay, I just want to know why you deleted Carolyn.
Because I think she's connected to the other person.
Well, obviously she's not. I found whoever the hell this person is. Or she found whoever the hell this person is.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going through a lot of crap right now. She's going to be leaving tomorrow. Her brother has lung cancer.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Really upset. So I thought I would talk directly to you because I've been trying to reach you, but you weren't never available.
Well, I'm not on the computer every day, so.
So shouldn't you have talked to her? I mean, one-on-one before accusing her of something?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Obviously she didn't feel like she was getting anything out of the hangout. So, hey Joey, we're just having some
Hello.
chit chat before we get started.
Yeah, I saw the YouTube link pop up, and then I checked the comments and see that it was up now. So
Okay,
I
I've
jumped
still
in.
got to figure out how to invite the people I need to invite or whatever. So I didn't do it through Google Hangout. So I've got to figure out how to invite the people that I promised I would invite. So
What happened to Jess?
I beg your pardon.
What happened to Jess?
She is upset because I have banned Carolyn Burt from this hangout in my YouTube channel. So, which is fine. She can be upset, but we're not going to feed the trolls. That's my bottom line or whatever. And I'll make a brief statement about that when we get started. But I haven't banned her from all Google Hangouts. I can't do that. Just mine, you know. And if I have to get peace in the valley to do that, I mean, if I have to do that to get peace in the valley, then that's what I do. I don't like making tough decisions, to be quite honest about it. But I feel like she forced my hand, you know. And I saw enough evidence that led me to believe that they were the same person, Yada and Carolyn or whatever. So, but so hopefully we can just have a nice hangout today or whatever without the drama. I'm not about drama. I'm like you. I'm about having fun and just sharing and encouraging each other. So, but just between you and me, Carolyn will not be happy till Jessica shuts down her hangouts, because Jessica is starting to grow, and eventually she'll want to leave the nest. That's my opinion, you know, based on what I've seen. So how do you feel about that?
Honestly, I'll be dead honest with you. Groups were formed. People came in. One person came and attacked us. Didn't know who it was. Blow it off. And when you had put up that it was Carolyn,
Yeah,
I kind of somewhat was upset, but somewhat didn't know. So
yeah.
I let it go. And then Carolyn came back and said, no, it was not me. I would never do something like that. Why would he even accuse me? And she's only wanted to talk to you and just to straighten everything out. And you blocked her and took her out. You know what I mean? Instead of just talking to her and saying, you know, well, if I made a mistake, then, you know, you're right. I apologize. I made a mistake, and it's no big thing. We've built this friendships up, and to everybody, and maybe I did see things wrongly, or whatever. But I'm going to take the word over the individual over suspicion.
Okay. Well, the reason I did that was because she made a comment in that post which only Carolyn could have known about, because there were only 4 people. It was during a post-game show or whatever, and there were only 4 people in that room: you, me, Eric, and Carolyn. So I don't suspect Eric of doing this or whatever. But if I'm wrong, well, I'm not going to unban her today. Today I just want to have a positive, productive hangout or whatever. And but my guess is it's an altar, and Carolyn may not be aware of it. And that's a tough decision too. If there's a renegade altar out there, do I have to ban the whole system to protect the hangouts, or my hangout, I should say? And right now I'm leaning toward yes or whatever. So let me go ahead and see if I can invite these people.
Yeah, good. As a matter of fact, I'll even help out a little bit and send the invites, but I want to make sure.
You can do that from your. Really, the only person we need to invite is Anastasia, and she goes by Jake Spoffer.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Destiny's going to be able to make it today. I think she said she had to work today or whatever. So I would appreciate that. Like I said, I didn't set it up through a Google Hangout. I set it up on the YouTube side, which seems to be better. So.
Oh yeah, it's definitely easier. It's just getting the everybody to get into the room.
Yeah. And since we're almost about to be late, so I'll go ahead and copy this to the by the way, for what it's worth, Jamie seems to agree with me. I mean, she's not 100% sure, but she seems to agree with me or whatever. So, and for some reason, she has to take the whole week off or whatever. So,
yeah. Well, like I said, I am really just the peacekeeper.
We definitely need a peacekeeper. The other thing I'm trying to figure out is maybe I can figure out that it's not her, because if this Yada person posts something and Carolyn wasn't in the meeting, then that would prove, right? That would prove that she was not Yada or whatever. So. I've decided I'm not going to feed the trolls. Okay. I've got the link posted in the YouTube box, and
hey, Chance.
Welcome. There should be something here that would allow me to invite people,
You can click the, there's an invite.
Yeah. Is it part of the links? No, it's not part of the links.
No, what you do is you go to the Google Hangout that you created through Google.
Yeah.
Invite
Except I
from there.
did, like I didn't set it up through Google Plus. You know, I guess you
Okay.
should really do both. You should really do both. But were you able to invite Anastasia?
I sent the to the whole group the invite and the link.
Okay, okay, and she's part of the group. Oh,
Yep.
obviously she's part of the group. Okay,
I have
so she'll
everybody
get.
on there.
Okay, yeah, I see now. Okay, I see. Okay, so she'll get the invite and she can come in or whatever. She may be, I don't know what time it is in England. She may be having her supper for all I know.
Yeah. Well, it's 8 o'clock p.m. there.
Okay, so, well, who knows?
She's 5
Okay,
hours
well,
ahead.
it's past time, so let me refer to my notes. First of all, I want to thank everybody for the support that I've gotten and that all of us have gotten as a part of this group. We've had a situation with a troll, and based on what I can figure out and what I've learned, I've made a decision to block that person and to block. She has 2 accounts, so I blocked 2 accounts or whatever, and we're not going to feed the trolls. And if I have to block a system by blocking an altar, I'll do that. Obviously, I can only control my hangout, and but anyway, we have to let people know that there are consequences for their actions. And the reason I say that is there was a young lady that got a job at a daycare center, and she posted on her Facebook page the night before, "I really don't like kids." Before she got to work the next morning, she was fired. And then there's a case of a guy that was driving through Chick-fil-A where they were having all the trouble with their stance about gay people or whatever, and he just let the poor cashier have it in the drive-through. Well, somebody had a cell phone. That cell phone got posted, and he was a CEO of some company, but now he's lost 2 jobs, and he and his family are living in a travel trailer. So that's why I say the internet is forever, and I'm going to have zero patience for trolls. If that makes me the mean guy, then I'll be the mean guy. But to me, the most important thing about these hangouts, and it's been said to me over and over again, that this is a safe, welcoming place for people to come and share. And we've got people that don't have DID that like to hang out with us or whatever. And so they're welcome. And that's all I want to say about that. If anyone has any questions about that throughout the hangout, I'll be more than happy to address them. Now we're going to move into the housekeeping. And as always, I remind you to mute your YouTube page. You can keep it open. I don't care about that. But if you mute it, we won't have the reverberation, the horrible background noise we sometimes get. And we always want to keep it PG because we have all kinds of people watching, and this will be archived so that other people can watch it later on or whatever. And basically, we only have about 3 rules. There's no therapy. There's no judgment. We're here to encourage each other. And the third rule would be to respect each other. So, and I just ask, I've already said that. If you stick with I statements, it makes it a lot easier. Like, I feel this way, or I feel that way, or whatever. And then see resources this week. I found a resource on breathing exercises. I'm not sure I'm going to post it yet. I want to do some more research on that. And then so that's all I have as far as housekeeping. Does anyone else have anything in regards to housekeeping?
Nope.
Oh,
Just
okay.
I'm on the YouTube page, checking on that, seeing if anybody comments on the YouTube page for you, so you can focus on just doing the your show.
All right. Thank you, Joey. So we've done the housekeeping. Now the next thing I do is our Q&A, which will hopefully take us to the first hour or whatever. And I've changed it up a little bit. And hopefully the second hour it'll just be free form. We can talk about whatever we want to talk about. And if we need to go into overtime, I will take us off the live feed, and we'll have some session, some time in, just among ourselves without being broadcast. So,
Okay.
Go ahead. Okay.
I just said okay.
Okay, fine. All right. So the first question is, what was the high point of your week?
Oh wow, for me it was being able to finish my reality series and do last night's show. Last night's show was just friggin' awesome. And then today I did a shout out video. It ended up being 20 minutes long because what I did is I did it differently. I didn't post the links or everything. I just showed everybody's YouTube page on the video so everybody could see the actual YouTube page and check them all out, their pages. I think that video came out pretty good. Probably missed a few. I admitted it in the video, but it was meant for everyone.
Well, your hangout last night was very, very good. I really enjoyed it or whatever, and having some open time, then having a guest come in, I think that's a very, very good mix. A high point of my week was, of course, well, like you said, the hangout last night, but I actually got to do some more work with EFT. I actually got to help somebody in a small group setting. She was having problems. She had a headache or whatever, and so we were able to take it down a couple of notches or whatever. So it was easier for her to deal with. So that was the high point of my week. And I guess the next question would be, what was the low point of your week? And I'll go ahead and share mine. Mine was the troll, and then we were still having bad weather here in Texas. The whole area, almost the entire state of Texas, going up to Oklahoma, going into Louisiana, and I think a small piece of Arkansas, we're under a flood warning, which means that over the course of this weekend, some of that area is probably going to flood or whatever. So that's just continuing monsoon weather here in Texas, which is really out of the ordinary. Okay, so that brings us to the third question, and the third question is, what did you learn this week?
Marvin.
Yes, sir.
You're breaking all up.
Okay, that must be my connection, because what I'm hearing in my headphones is fine. So, can you still hear me?
Yeah, now I think you're cleared up now.
Okay. But what I learned this week.
Upset. So I am here now. Fate, are you one of Jess's alters? I'm really not sure. I'm only asking. I've seen you before on here. I think we're even friends on Google. I'm not even sure, but I know I've seen you before. I just never got to talk to you. You can type too, Fee. You don't have to respond vocally.
Well, while she's doing that, I'll go ahead and answer the question. I learned that it's very, very dangerous for an alcoholic to go cold turkey or whatever. They almost always have to go into drug rehab. And I guess maybe I had known that before, but I kind of forgot that or whatever. So that's a good thing to bear in mind, because that's eventually I want to work with people that have addictions and to help them overcome their addictions. So we are zooming to the questions. So the fourth question is how we make this hangout better, and this will be the last of the old questions. And like I talked about last night, I'd like to see a 3-tier system where we have the YouTube viewers being the first tier, the people that are watching and participating being the second tier, and then the third tier would be the host, more than one, and the guest, more than one, or whatever. Because it's just seems like to me that would work better, or whatever. So. Okay.
All right.
I will take
Am I
that into
causing the
consideration.
lag, or is the lag just that bad?
I'm not hearing a lag from you. You must be hearing a lag from me.
All right, so I'm not lagging. Okay.
No. So it must be on my end, and I would imagine it may have something to do with the weather, because I'm sure it's raining somewhere here in Texas. So, okay, but Fate, I take your comments seriously, and I will. Yeah, but I take your comments seriously, and I will bear that in mind. So, okay, now we're going to go into the new and different questions or whatever, and some of these ideas I've taken from other people on YouTube. So these are not necessarily original ideas from me, but the first question is, do you have a bedtime routine?
Yep.
Do you mind sharing what your routine is?
I shower before bed, and I typically take my meds, most of my meds before I shower, and then take the rest after. And then smoke a couple cigarettes and then get in bed.
Okay, that sounds like a pretty good routine. My routine is that I go through the house and make sure I haven't left anything on, like lights and stuff like that or whatever, and then I go into my bedroom and yeah, cut on my reading light or whatever. I turn the air down because I sleep better in a cooler room or whatever, and then I generally read for about 45 minutes or an hour before I go to sleep or whatever. So that seems to work for me. Another thing I'm doing is I'm not watching the news at night or listening to the news at night. I mean, it can keep until the morning or whatever. So that's what I'm doing. Joy, do you have a routine that you follow?
Always. I wake up, get my coffee.
No, I'm talking about at the end of the day, when you're about to retire for the evening.
Oh no, I just shut everything down and put on my meditation music and lay down and go to sleep.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Meditation music.
Every night I fall asleep to meditation music.
Hmm.
It releases my mind. It allows me to think clear consciously while I'm laying down. That's where I get most of my answers or questions from, and I end up finding more information actually when I lay down and I'm about to go to sleep, I'll ask the questions, go to my meditation. Usually when I wake up the next morning, the answers are just there.
Wow. Cool. Cool.
Don't know why. Maybe it's the subconscious mind that allows me to be able to put everything together while I'm sleeping, but I'm never left over from the day before. I always finish everything from the day before, so the next day is always fresh. I never have to be stuck in the loop of, oh, I forgot to do this yesterday. It doesn't matter. Yesterday was yesterday, today's today. So,
Okay.
you know, plus,
Okay.
we all know
Go-
living
go.
with this disorder, the time gets lost, everything else, so you do as much as you can in a day that you can do. Me, I just seem to live here, you know,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
enjoy being here, groups, supporting everybody, and being a part of the whole thing that's built here. I just, like I said, I really would like to see, you know, this one little topic disappear finally and just be over and done with and everybody back. And, you know, I really don't want to be the middleman for it because I don't want to hurt anybody.
Well, you don't have to be the middleman if you don't want to be or whatever. But each moderator should well, they have the responsibility to make choices for their hangout or whatever. So, and I don't expect anybody to imitate me. That wouldn't be right. I mean, so we're all going to have to find a way. And I will say this: we're not going to learn how to handle every circumstance until every circumstance comes up. I mean, we're still in the beginning of this or whatever. Blue was talking about last night, when this new movie comes out or whatever, there's going to be a lot of flack come down on us for that or whatever. So we may be dealing with trolls, every hangout or whatever. But like I said, each moderator is going to have to make a choice for their hangout. I can police my hangout, and if I'm not doing it well, that will be made known to me, and I can always redecide. I mean, but we're going to keep going forward or whatever, and which leads us into our fun questions. Have you ever played the game Would You Rather? We used to play it where I worked or whatever. It's a really good game. Some of the questions can be sometimes disturbing and sometimes funny. But here's a question: would you rather be bald or be toothless?
Well, let's see. I am bald and I have my teeth, so I think that explains it.
Okay. Well, I was thinking that I think I would rather be bald. Because I still like to chew things with my teeth, so I think I would rather be bald.
I shave my head all the
Anybody
time.
else?
I don't give a shit about
Yeah. Well, they say if you do start to go bald, it's best to shave your head. So like Michael Jordan, I think he was the first.
Yeah, this morning I woke up. It was weird going to sleep last night. I think I finally tried to lay down and go to sleep at 5. Yeah, okay, this isn't working. I can't go to sleep.
Yeah.
So I just sat there and meditated. I was in meditation for deep meditation, and I woke up to work, and she was really sick. She had a migraine that was horrible. So, and not 5 minutes later, she was back. As soon as she got to work, they told her, go home. We can see how bad you are. So she came home. So I helped her, carried her upstairs. Laid her down, told her stay there, relax. We got this for the day, and you know, just trying to make it easier on.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's got to be kind of tough or whatever. I've been lucky. I've never had the migraines or whatever, so I've been very, very lucky in that regard. So, shall we move on to the next question? Okay. Now, here's funny. You should talk about your wife being sick. Would you rather be 20% sick for 10 days or 100% sick for 1 day?
1 day.
I would go the other way. I would rather be 20% sick for 10 days or whatever, because when I was working, it was perfect attendance was very, very important to me. So, okay, Joy must be having a bad connection or whatever, so he's dropped out. Hopefully he'll rejoin us or whatever. So, I don't know. He said I was breaking up, and then I guess I was, and then toward the end there, he started to break up or whatever. So
Yeah.
it seems like there's always got to be a snafu when we do these hangouts or whatever.
Yep.
Okay. So the next question is, would you rather be a star player on a losing team or a bench warmer on a winning team?
Huh. I would probably want to be the bench warmer. I'm not
Yeah.
much of a team player,
Okay.
and it's easier for me to not be in the center of attention.
Yeah.
So I'd probably go for bench warmer.
Okay. Well, I would go the opposite direction, and the reason, of course, I had a chance to prepare the questions and think about them or whatever, but I was thinking of Hank Aaron. You know, Hank Aaron was the home run king for a good many years, whatever, and he was a great player. I'm not taking anything away from him, but if he had played for the Yankees or some of these other better teams, he would not have got the pitches that he got being with the Braves when they were a losing team or whatever. So I think I would rather be a star player on a losing team, because that way I might have a chance to break some records. So,
True.
okay, now this is a question I didn't steal from anybody. I came up on my own, and the question is, would you become the lifetime spokesperson for Depends undergarments if it meant becoming a millionaire?
Hell yeah.
And that means every day for the rest of your life, every box of Depends, your face is going to be on it.
Totally.
Okay.
Depends are a good product.
That's true.
So,
And
so you're part of a good product and you get money.
hey, okay. Well, I think you've changed my mind. And the older I get, I think the less I would be offended by that or whatever. So, okay. And then this is a question I borrowed from somebody. Would you rather be too tall or too short?
I am short as it is.
Mm-hmm.
I've always kind of wondered what it would be like to be tall.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I'd kind of like to see what it would like to be tall.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
I have to, recently I had to change a light bulb in my mom's bathroom,
mhm.
and I had to climb on the counter.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So, and I'm not a fan of heights.
Mhm.
So climbing on the counter was a little stretch for me.
Okay. Well, my perspective is, being a guy and height being everything among guys, especially when you start to date people or whatever. I would choose to be too tall as well. But here's the drawback to being to being a tall person, they have a lot more back problems than short people do. So, so that just kind of goes with the territory. So every now and then my back will act up or whatever. I do some yoga and takes care of it. So
Yeah.
well, we have blitzed through the questions, but I have a bonus question. I'm a real big fan of David Letterman, and
Yeah.
and so I'm just going to ask if you would share your favorite David Letterman memory, if you have one.
The stupid pet tricks.
There you go. There you go.
Anytime he had the stupid pet tricks on, I loved it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
is
he
he
got
the one
away.
that did Jack Hanna also?
Jack Hanna, I think, did a lot of the nighttime shows. I remember him from Johnny Carson, but I think he was also on Letterman. So, and
'Cause
maybe
I
one
like
or
when
two others.
I like anytime they bring animals in.
Okay. Okay. Well, my favorite memory of David Letterman is actually a story that was told about him. In the early 1970s, before he made it really big, he did comedy clubs in Los Angeles. And Ringo Starr at this time was out of the Beatles, and he hadn't really made it big on his own yet or whatever. And so basically, he was just driving around drunk. He had a limo driver, and the limo driver would drive around drunk, drunk. He'd go to all these different comedy clubs and nightclubs or whatever. And so one time, he came into David's nightclub and started heckling him or whatever, as he was drunk and out of his mind. So David Letterman looked straight at him and he said, "You've ruined your career and now you're trying to ruin mine." And I thought that was the greatest comeback, So
Yeah.
But the happy story is that they both went on to great success, and Ringo is still out there doing his thing. And my guess is, David said he wasn't going to come back into the Ed Sullivan Theater, which I took to mean that he might make some appearances on TV, and I hope he does. I'd love to see like a Christmas special type deal like they used to have or whatever. Bob Hope used to have them, and Bing Crosby and some of the others. I'd like to see him do something like that, maybe a once a year special or whatever. So, or if he wanted to be have a small part on a sitcom or whatever, like being someone's dad or something, I'm sure he could line that up too. So, but
He could do whatever he wanted.
Yeah. The thing about it was, he didn't like working every day. He liked working. Welcome back, Joy. He liked working. He liked working 4 days a week. He liked having the 3-day weekends, and his shows were filmed 4 days. The Friday show was actually filmed throughout the week or whatever. They kind of spliced it together. So I think the day in and day in grind kind of got to him or whatever. But I think once he has a chance to relax and rest back up or whatever, I think he'll be back. I think he'll be back.
I think my personal opinion is he wants some time with his son.
Yeah. He
wants to spend some time with his son because his son is getting to that age where they kind of distance themselves from the parents.
Yeah.
And his son's approaching teenage years if he's not already there yet.
Yeah, well, he's very close. He's a big boy. They showed him on Wednesday night. I didn't watch it live, but they have all the clips on YouTube or whatever. So I watched him, and he made a point of thanking his wife and his son or whatever, and it wasn't easy for them. He had the triple bypass or whatever, and then he had the scandal with his affairs and everything or whatever, and they stood by him through everything. So yeah, it'd be nice for him to take a little time and spend it with his family or whatever. Maybe play some baseball with the kiddo. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So that was my last bonus question. So I guess now we'll go into we'll just throw it open to any question from the floor or anything y'all want to talk about. So
yeah, I mentioned towards the end of last night, I think after we dropped the live feed. My mom fell this week.
Oh gosh.
And we thought she had broken a rib.
Yeah.
Because she landed on the filing cabinet.
Okay.
So I got to spend 4 hours in the ER. Yeah.
Man.
And then the next day, our host got really triggered, and she has not been out since. She's hiding. So we're taking care of business.
Okay. Do you think she'll come out when everything gets calmer or whatever?
Probably. She does this rather occasionally.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe like 2 or 3 times a year, she'll just disappear for a week.
Yeah. How old is your mom?
She is 68.
Okay, and so she's still mobile and everything?
For the most part, she's overweight.
Okay.
So she's got some physical. It's hard for her to move around. She uses a walker. She's had 4 back surgeries.
Okay, but breaking the rib or whatever, it hasn't incapacitated her.
No, they did an X-ray and it turned out nothing was broken.
Well,
but she showed me the bruise.
Yeah.
Where she hit it. It
okay.
looks so bad. So bad.
Okay. Well, there may not be much consolation in this, but being 68 years old, she could have fallen and broken her hip. So that maybe that's a small consolation, and she can still. I know she's in a lot of pain, and she can still get up and move around. So I would count that as a positive or whatever. And
I'm trying to get her to get one of those stinking buttons that you push and it dials 911 for you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get her to get one of those.
Does she have a cell phone?
She does, but when she fell this week, she was going to the bathroom.
Okay, and she didn't have her cell phone.
She wasn't carrying the phone. She couldn't reach the phone once she fell, and I was down the street. So she was on the floor for 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I heard about a lady that fell outside of her house, and she was like in her backyard for like 4 hours, and then one of the neighbors happened to hear her. So maybe investing in that button would be a good idea or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, in the time previous to this that she fell, she was on the ground for 8 or 9 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was in the middle of the night. I had already gone to bed.
Yeah.
And I didn't have my cell phone on. But where she had fallen that time, she was able to pull her comforter off her bed and get the phone.
Yeah.
So she was trying to call me. And she couldn't get through because my cell phone was off. So I got up at like 9:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Go smoke and then go back to bed, and as I was headed out the front door, I thought I heard her say something, and then as I was coming back in, I knew I heard her, and I went to her room, and she was lying on the ground with a pillow and a comforter.
Well, it sounds like to me you won't have to convince her very much or whatever. My dad, it's been so wet around here. All the steps have been kind of slick or whatever, and I've been trying to get him to put rails on our steps. Our house is about 3 feet off the ground or whatever, so whichever door you go out, you have to go down some steps, and the front steps we do have rails or whatever. So I'm hoping he'll do that, but he's fallen a couple of times. He fell on vacation in Florida, and they had to fly him back to Houston or whatever, and they put titanium rod where his shin bone is or whatever. So and then he's fallen since then or whatever. But luckily he hasn't hurt himself a second time. So
yeah, luckily this time she just got bruised.
yeah, and yeah, it's just gonna be a day by day thing. So we'll be pulling for y'all. So
yeah,
it's a fact of life. We get older, or we don't, you know. And
yeah.
from what I can see, is getting older is probably the best option we have. So I am doing some qigong exercises or whatever, you know. To it's kind of like Tai Chi. If you've ever seen people do the slow, graceful exercises, and that helps with your flexibility. I used to do yoga, but that doesn't appeal to me so much anymore. And plus, if you breathe right and stand right, you actually become empowered. I know it's kind of freaky to say, but you actually draw up energy from the earth into your body. That's kind of esoteric and out there or whatever, but I find that it's working for me. I need to do some more research on it, because I found out that if you do it the wrong way, you can actually hurt yourself. You can actually pull in too much power, and maybe it goes into an organ that's not ready for it or something or whatever. So I've got to do some more research on it. But I am going to fight getting old as hard as I can. I'm already watching my diet. I subscribe to an alkaline diet, which the theory behind that is if your body is slightly alkaline, your pH balance is on the positive side, that you don't get viruses as bad. Viruses love an acidic environment, and we give them one by our diet.
Yeah.
You know, you go to McDonald's, you get cheeseburgers, shake, and French fries. Well, that's acid on top of acid, and eventually your immunity will go down, and you'll catch a cold or a flu or something worse or whatever. So, and I'm not against.
Makes sense. That makes sense, because I get sick a lot, and I eat a lot of fast food.
Well, do your due diligence and do some research. And I'm not against McDonald's. I'm against McDonald's every day.
Yeah.
Okay. And all you have to do is you have to shift your balance to being more alkaline or whatever. And how you do that is the quickest way to do it is baking soda in a glass of water. Like they say, if you have an upset stomach, you take a baking soda, a little bit of baking soda in a glass of warm water. Well, that'll calm the stomach upset, which is acid, basically, and plus it'll alkalize your body. Another way you can do it is to eat plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables, because in their natural state, most fruits and vegetables are alkaline. Almonds are really good. Your green leafy vegetables, kale.
Do you know about pistachios?
I'm not too familiar with them. If memory serves me, I think they're slightly alkaline.
Okay.
Which couldn't hurt you or whatever.
Those are my favorite nut.
Okay. Well, tree pollen is acidic.
Okay.
That's why. And the reason we know that is that if you park your car under a pine tree or any tree that's has the pollen, it'll start to damage the paint, and only acid would do that. So
yeah.
But it's a fascinating thing to look at and to try to figure out by yourself or whatever. I try not to preach it, but just to say it works for me. I haven't been really sick in years and years and years. And And then when I do start to come down with something, I know, hey, look at your diet, man. Did you drink too many Cokes? Because Cokes are acidic or whatever, you know. So
Yeah, I
I
drink a lot of sodas.
yeah, yeah. Well, they actually make alkaline water. Not so
Is it
you
similar
can't
to
really
like
find
Powerade?
similar. I'm trying to think of a brand name. There's some brand names out there. You really can't find it at Walmart. You almost always have to go to like a health food store. I think probably
Okay.
Whole Foods would carry it or whatever. But
Mhm.
if you go into the water section and ask one of the employees or whatever, they'll and also you can go online and figure out which waters are alkaline or whatever and which aren't. So
Uh-huh.
like Ozarka, I think is just plain neutral. You know, it's
Mm.
not one way or the other or whatever. But some of the mineral waters are alkaline.
Okay.
So and there's a website, I forget the name of it, but if you just Google the pH balance of water or something, it'll probably come up.
Okay.
So so yeah, but I'm going to try to fight this age thing as much as I can or whatever. So I take vitamins not every day, but every other day, and so
Mhm.
I've tried to walk if I'm in a safe area. I try to park my car away from the store where I can get some extra walking in or whatever. So, but
Yeah, well, you're in Houston, so
yeah, actually I don't
not the
live.
safest little town.
No, actually I don't live in Houston. I say Houston because it's the Houston metropolitan area. I actually live in a small town northwest of Houston. And I think our population is probably about 20,000 people or whatever. So.
Is it like like Katy is to Houston or Spring is to Houston kind of idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like I don't know if you've ever heard of Tomball.
Yes, I've heard of Tomball. I had a friend that used to live there.
Okay, well we're northwest of Tomball, like if you were going to the Renaissance Festival or whatever. So I mean, and
Okay.
we are building up like crazy. They are building roads right and left, and most of them are tollways. You're going to have
Yeah.
something called the Grand Parkway. When they get
Mhm.
that when they get that built, Houston will have 3 ring roads around it or whatever, and uh, and 249 is becoming a toll road too. But and here's the funny thing is, if you have cash, you can't use that toll road. You've got to have you've got to have what they call an easy tag or whatever. So and everything's
Mhm.
done electronical. So my guess is that they're figuring out a way how to get rid of money.
Yeah.
They, eventually we won't need a wallet but to carry our cards. Our cards will be in our wallet or whatever, and everything will be
I
done.
hardly carry cash as it is.
Yeah. Well, I carry some, you know, because I like to buy my gasoline with cash. You get
Mhm.
somewhat of a discount, and you know, so I like to have some on hand or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, I buy my groceries and stuff like that. But you know, I hardly ever go to a bookstore anymore because I get all my stuff on Amazon now.
Mhm.
So, so I guess that's a good thing. We'll hope the best for your mother, and I'm sure every day it'll get a little bit easier or whatever. And
Yeah.
so, but you know, people get to a certain age, they just get really fixed in their ways, and you can't. You can give them ideas, but they won't buy them. You know,
Yeah.
I've tried. I've tried to get my dad. My dad's overweight. I've tried to get him to watch his weight, and he's to the point where now, you know, he'd rather enjoy himself and be a little fat or whatever. So, but,
Yeah,
but
my
that's
mom doesn't like being overweight,
yeah,
but she tries to eat healthy and it just doesn't work. Bring me ice cream, bring me a cookie, bring me a muffin.
yeah,
I'm like, you're trying to lose weight, Mom. Like, cut out the cookies.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's tough because you know we use food for comfort.
Mhm.
So And whenever we meet, whenever there's a family occasion or something, the first thing you do is, if you don't have food there, let's go grab a bite to eat or whatever.
Yep.
My sister's real big into entertaining or whatever. She loves to go out to all these fine restaurants and everything. And of course, you go to a restaurant, they probably give you twice what you really need to eat. So
Yeah. Serving size at restaurants is too big.
yeah. And a lot of times I'm too embarrassed to ask for you used to call them doggy bags. I think they call them take home plates or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah. But I don't eat out much anymore. I don't like crowds that much. I mean, I'll go at an off time. I'll go.
So I lagged out. I got conked out, and it disconnected me from the chat, and I didn't know if it was the live chat that failed or I failed.
Okay, well, we've been okay. So it must have been something on your end. So hopefully that's okay now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're glad you're back.
Well, now that Joey's back, I'm going to go smoke.
Alrighty, go right ahead. Yeah, we were just talking about Chance's mother. Evidently,
Man, it's all lagged out for me. I can't hear anything.
Well, to be honest with you, partner, if the group doesn't start to get livelier or whatever, I'm going to take this off the air. Probably about it would be 4 o'clock your time or whatever. So I thought we'd have a greater response, but it is. I forget it's the holiday weekend, and so people that hello, Selah. Oh, Joy dropped out again, so it is me. Let's see what's going on the YouTube side. Okay, someone on the YouTube side says, we are tall and bumping your head a lot is a problem. Well, I'm not that tall, but I knew some people that had most doorways were like 6'8", so or I knew some people that had some problems with that. Well, evidently, Joy is having some technical problems, so let me try the screen share thing again or whatever, since we're just kind of playing around. Well, the screen share seems to work. Alrighty, someone on YouTube says looking good from this end or whatever. So it is the holiday weekend, and so there doesn't seem to be much interest in my hangout, which I guess is a good thing. You know, I would rather people spend time with their friends and family, and maybe at a cookout someplace if it's not raining or whatever. So I'm encouraged by that. So, and if anybody would like to come in and just chat, hang out, whatever, there's plenty of room. And if we don't get some interest, I say like 3 o'clock, I will terminate the live live stream portion of this program, and we'll see if anybody wants to continue on privately or whatever. So, but it's the holiday weekend. Oh, while I've got the opportunity, you know, I want to take a moment or two and just promote the other groups. Jamie has a group on Monday, and that time fluctuates a little bit according to her work schedule or whatever, and she had to take this week off because she's, I guess, very, very busy. She has her own business, and she has a family, so I guess this is a busy week for her or whatever. And then Jessica will have hers on Wednesday evening, and then of course Joy does his on Friday night, and his Friday nights are becoming better and better and better. It's he has a guest. Tom Floyd has been the guest for the last 2 times, and Tom is a therapist. He has 2 degrees, master's level degrees, and welcome back. Joy dropped.
You got left alone.
Well, Joy had to drop out or something, and but that's okay. I was just telling everybody about the other groups going on.
Okay.
Jamie Monday, Jessica Wednesday, Joy Friday night, and then me on Saturday or whatever. And then the other thing, I also do one on politics Sunday evenings or whatever. So I understand many people are not interested in politics, but I am. and I really don't have to prepare for those. The thing about it, the tough thing about it is trying to narrow it down to 3 topics to talk about or whatever. So so that's my fun thing. So Blue,
well,
how's it going?
I wanted to let you know.
Oh, we're here. Go ahead,
I wanted to let you know, Marvin, that give it a few hours, you're going to get a storm.
Yeah, they were showing the maps earlier. I think the only person that might get out of it is going to be Blue, because there's like 13 counties in West Texas that do not have a flood. I forget if it's a flood warning or a flood watch, but my guess is a lot of places this weekend are going to flood here in Texas.
Well, the storm is just now starting to hit Austin.
Okay, so it's coming my way then. Okay.
Yeah. It started raining on me while I was outside, and the wind's blowing so bad it was getting me.
Oh man, well and I hate that for Memorial Day weekend or whatever, but maybe,
Yeah.
just maybe this will give people an opportunity to stop just for a minute, and think about what Memorial Day actually means, rather
Yeah.
than to go to the lake or the cookout or wherever they're going to go. I'm not against those kinds of things or whatever, but the weekend is for us to remember those who gave up their lives so that we could have our freedom or whatever. So that's what the weekend's really about.
Yep.
And sadly, every generation has to fight for that freedom. It's not something that, they got it for us. The founding fathers got it for us, and now it's ours. The founding fathers got their freedom or whatever, and now it's up to every generation to maintain that or whatever. So I'm really grateful to the men and women who've made the ultimate sacrifice, so we can go out and have a hot dog anytime we want to.
Yep.
Basically. Blue, you were going to say something there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm just jumping in here for a minute because you were alone. I would have been listening on YouTube.
Well, thank you. It makes a great podcast for people that don't want to sit in front of their screens for 2 hours or whatever. Someone said she actually went shopping or whatever, and she listened to it while she was doing her shopping. So
Yeah, that was me.
okay. Well, good deal. So we can do it either way. I would prefer to do radio. I've been told I have a face for radio, so I would prefer to do radio. But so I'm doing radio with pictures. So
Yeah.
And like I say, YouTube. There's not a podcast. There are a lot of podcast sites out there or whatever, but nothing the size of YouTube or whatever. So
Yeah.
So I get more views on YouTube, I guess, than I would if I. Is it SoundCloud? There's SoundCloud and some others that do podcasts or whatever. So I'm happy the way it is. So. Blue, are you out of the danger zone as far as the rain is concerned?
We got blue skies here, Marvin, but we live in a desert. We did have rain 2 nights ago and thunderstorms, and there was some areas to the northwest of us in Hatch. They got pounded, mostly hail. This time of year, Marvin, the rain isn't necessarily the problem, is the hailstorms.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get this time of year is our time we get the bad hailstorms.
Yeah, I know, and the last hailstorm I saw on the news, the stones were as big as softballs.
Yep, we've had them that big. Here, we've had them the size of softballs and grapefruits.
Oh man.
I just got to say, the people that don't believe in climate change just because it's called global warming need to look out their front door.
Oh, yeah.
Climate change is common to the Earth. It's nothing new.
Well,
it's nothing new, but it seems to be getting worse.
Yeah.
Or is it being reported more frequently? Is we hearing about it more, or is it actually it's been happening this way all along, just we didn't hear about as much?
Good point.
More interconnected.
And the other thing, I think humanity has been a factor, but I think there may be other factors at play or whatever. We kind of touched on that last night.
I'm convinced it's the sun, Marvin. That's my opinion.
Oh yeah, well, like you said last night, the temperature on Mars is going up. I'm not driving my car on Mars. I'm not driving my cars on Mars.
Yeah, and also, and they don't. The climate scientists who push climate change or what wants global warming, they deny the sun. I even had one climate scientist tells me the sun doesn't affect the temperature of the Earth.
Really?
Really. And
Okay,
there's
the
a whole,
sun is
and
how
here's
we
the-
can even
here's the
survive
issue.
on the Earth.
Here's the issue, Marvin, is there's a portion of our atmosphere that we know more about the moon than from about 150,000 feet to 64 miles.
Yeah.
That's an area we can't send balloons there. They don't go that high.
Mhm.
We do have rockets transit that area on occasions, but as far as long-term monitoring of that part of the atmosphere, there's very not they claim they understand, but how do you claim something, you understand something, when you have really no long-term direct data from that area? Basically, it's remote sensing at best you get of that area of our atmosphere.
Mhm.
Uh,
Well, you talk about the majority opinion and everything, and all these scientists. About 20 years ago, there was a scientist that come out and said that that there were meteors that were basically icebergs, and they were hitting the atmosphere and putting moisture in the atmosphere, and of course, eventually it would come down or whatever. And everybody in the scientific community said, "You're an idiot. That's the stupidest thing we've ever heard," or whatever. You've got no evidence of it. And then, like 5 or 10 years later, they actually got photographs of that happening.
For example, Marvin, you know what sprites are and spurts? They're electrical charges that come off the top of a thunderstorm.
Okay.
These were reported, Marvin, back as far as the 1800s by amateurs, especially amateur astronomers. And basically, they were discounted by mainstream science until they were actually photographed from the space shuttle. And now they're commonly photographed from the ground.
Yeah. So the majority opinion is not necessarily the right opinion, and that's the great thing about scientists. They're not afraid to change their knowledge, or whatever you want to call it, as they get more facts.
Unless they get trapped, Marvin. Unless they get trapped because of economic. Be honest, a lot of our global warming scientists, our climate scientists, they're trapped in the cycle of they've got to produce data to support their claims to gain grants to support themselves. You know, and it's kind of like a business. And how many people do you think are out there? And not trying to say these people do it overtly and maybe intentionally, but how many are going to say when they have data that might not support what's being claimed? There goes their grants. They're no longer employed. You know, and they complain about, on the other side, there are some scientists out there, especially in Europe, that is generating data that is opposite to what is being claimed by mainstream climate scientists. But basically, and there's one in the United States, he's attacked, 2 of them, who's attacked constantly because they take money from businesses. Well, if you can't get your projects funded by the mainstream science source, you go look at alternative places. It's not that because these people necessarily support what these companies believe, but if they're the only source to get research money, what, are you going to go unemployed, or are you going to go do your research?
Yeah.
And that's the issue both sides have with the climate change issue. Climate change has been common on this planet, Marvin, since they began. If it wasn't for climate change, most likely we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There's been periods in our, we know from data, there's been periods in the Earth's history, there was more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, more carbon compounds. The Earth was hotter. Hey, at one time, there's evidence to support that there was a snowball Earth period, that basically the Earth was covered in a snowball. It was not one big snowball.
Well, at one time, you could walk from Spain to Africa or whatever, you know, because the sea levels were much lower. So, and
you could walk from northern England to Scandinavia.
Yeah. So, well, yeah. Well, the Bering Strait, you know, between Alaska and Russia or whatever. So there's a lot of stuff that we don't know what's going on or whatever, and
Yeah, we don't understand it.
yeah, and I mean that's why they call them theories or whatever. So and hypotheses. So does anybody have any objection to me closing off the live feed to YouTube?
Do it, Marvin. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to just give a heads up to the people watching YouTube. I'm going to leave that link up, so if you want to come into the group, you can. But we're not going to broadcast. I mean, we're not going to archive anything after this point. So just want to give everybody a heads up, and we'll go into a private session now.